Good evening and welcome to the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com. I am Tim, back once again, and with me is, of course, my co-commentator, as always, Malk. How are you doing today?
I am doing very well, mate. I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine and ready to watch the sprint race, then the feature around Austrian. Now, a little bit of a change of things going into this week. We have decided to not do the formation lap. There have been some reports of drivers experiencing some issues, so in order to make the field as much of a level playing field as possible, the admins have decided to just forfeit the formation lap. So here in just a few minutes, we are going to be on the grid, and we will be kicking off with our sprint race. Then we will immediately be going into the feature.
So we're going to be looking forward to it this evening, and we're at the Austrian Grand Prix. We are at the absolute Austrian Grand Prix, and we're looking forward to it. Good evening to Spud. How you doing, mate? You all right? Hope you came well. And good evening to Marlon. How you doing, mate? Hope you came well. And yeah, can I just say, I know Tim wasn't here. Hello to ARL. How you doing, mate? Hope you came well. Just a recap, sorry. Just a reminder to the guys that was watching the stream last week. Because of the issues I had with the lobby, unfortunately, the race that you guys saw was not reflected back to what other drivers was experiencing. So basically, it was like an AI race. So we do apologise for that. It was out of my control, and you know it can happen. So we do apologise to anyone that was watching the stream last week, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that there'll be no more issues. I'm hoping, fingers crossed anyway. But saying that, I'm doing my own commentator's curse as well, to be fair. But Tim's back, and I'm going to give him a bit of a... So we'll just see how everything is all good. So I'm just going to get the standings so we both get ourselves set up and ready to go. But we're at the Austrian Grand Prix. So while I'm getting the standings ready, what do you think... What do you like about the track, and what do you think is going to happen from the first two races that you saw, and compared to the battles and the situations that you've seen?
Well, one thing that I like about the track is actually the fact that it is very short. This is one of the shortest circuits that is on the F1 calendar, and the reason I say that is because there's a lot less time, should I say, for you to make up or lose time, so you really have got to be on the ball here. And speaking of that, you're going to see a lot of good battles in the sprint race, and especially the feature race today. We've got that very long straightaway coming out of the first corner that is a nice DRS zone. Once the DRS is activated, you're going to see a lot of overtakes there, and it's going straight into a hairpin.
Here we go.
So you got this very tight corner that, hey, you know, you might see some drivers push each other wide. So a lot of elbows up action here today expected as we are ready on the grid for our sprint race. 5 lights in the air and ready to go. Looks like it is Joe Hamster, Sir Spud, Nitro Gas, your top 3. Who's leading when they get out of turn 1? The Red Bull of Sir Spud easily takes the lead from Joe Hamster.
Ooh.
Just trying to play it safe at the moment. A little bit of a close call off the corner,
Crash,
but everything is
crash,
okay.
Crash! There's been a crash at the back. Just Tiger and a few drivers have had a bit of a crash at turn 1. Just as I was about to watch, I could not catch what actually happened, but we got a virtual safety car, Tim.
And Sir Spud went very wide there, but the virtual safety car actually saving him there. Of course, that might have actually been him reacting to it as it came out very suddenly. Did not see what happened. Mal, can you recap for us?
Just as I was about to say, there was Ginger Tiger, and I think it was Speed Queen also that she had a bit of a spin as well. So there's quite a few drivers. I could not catch what actually happened, but Jack has got himself a 5-second penalty. So that is not good news for him. But I couldn't catch it. It was more the after effect of who caused what, to be fair. So I do apologise on that. So I couldn't catch it on time, Tim.
So the virtual safety car out. Sir Spud, Joe Hamster, Nitro Gas, your top three. We're back green. Joe Hamster gets right into the back of Sir Spud. Sends him into the corner, but looks like it's all right. And Joe Hamster gets around Sir Spud and takes the fastest lap on the first lap. However, I am a bit concerned about possible wing damage on that Alpine. Let's take a look from the onboard of Sir Spud here as you see Joe Hamster out to about half a second lead. Looking out the back to Nitro Gas, though, you see just how close these drivers are racing. And looking like a bit of a battle in the back between Nitro Gas and Michael. Look, as Michael gets into the back of the Ferrari, sends him around. There is Michael Luke, who's now dropping back to 5th and now under pressure from Bruce Lee Harding. Let's take a look now at Nitro Gas to see if he is able to recover.
God. Oh my God, we got we got different barrels. Nitro's dropped himself down. And MDJ had nowhere to go, but I think Nitro Gas had nowhere to, I think he must have had caught with some of the drivers itself, but that is, it's been a shock start for some of the drivers, but there's been a few unbelievable two in the bend moments as well. Marlon to speak with, always with a different tyre strategy. She always does throughout, well, it's not only that, well, yeah, it is, to be fair, because of the other drivers who have just pitted, but Trev's got fast up the race, 108.052. Who are you watching so far, Tim?
Watching Russman in the 4th position. He's under pressure from Bruce Lee Harding, but Bruce Lee Harding, he's under enough pressure of his own from Michael Luke behind him and Daryl Whiffen in that Mercedes. There goes Michael underneath Bruce Lee Harding, trying to make the move. Does he get the job done? No, can't quite get underneath that Mercedes. Michael now under pressure from Daryl Whiffen, looking on the outside of that AlphaTauri. Does Daryl make the move? Does he get the position? No, but he's going around the outside. Will he get the momentum? Yes, he does. Off the corner, but only just. Michael fighting back on the inside. Can't make anything happen.
What a move there. What a move. Unbelievable stuff. JPH and MDJ having a good battle for 11th and 12th respectively. And they're still going opposite. Oh, 2 in a bed. Come on. Oh, come on! Oh, MDJ, beautiful move. But JPH will be absolutely livid. His back end just completely just broken for a little bit, and which has brought MDJ into play. What an unbelievable start that we are seeing. But look, Bruce is back up to hold on in 5th. He was a 10th behind Russman. So Speed Queen got herself quietly moving her up to 14. Mikey R drops down to 16th. Jim Tiger in 15th place. We might be in for some classic moments, Tim.
And on board with Bruce Lee Harding as he is giving a lot of pressure to Russman. Looking on the inside, almost some contact, going to the grass almost. Bruce Lee Harding around Russman, but does he get the job done as we look out the back of the Mercedes side by side through the corner? Russman really using up every bit of racetrack. Bruce Lee Harding as well. And you know, I've got to say, hats off to Bruce and Russman, both of them. They gave each other room, but only enough.
Only just, and a bit of a whisker, shall we say. But here we go. I'm just trying to look to see who else. Bruce is getting close to Sir Spud. Bruce is getting close to Sir Spud for 3rd place. If he can try and put, well, we've got another battle. Just ahead, Cameron's getting close to Joe Hamster, and Bruce is trying to save ERS. He's trying to save his ERS on the inside line of turn 1, but could not make that move just yet. But he will take that opportunity now. DRS is now active.
Cameron going around Joe Hamster for the lead on the inside, side by side into turn 3. Who's it going to be, the Alpine or the Williams? The Alpine on the outside finds the momentum. Joe Hamster hanging on to the lead.
Joe Hamster holding on in the lead, but look at Bruce. Bruce is getting top, so is the Spud. Up to turn 4 now. And what a move! But Spud is holding on. Spud looks like he's holding on. He might lose out a few percent. Oh, Jesus, that was close. Spud and Russman could have had a collision. But Russman's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And I think Tadali's also got a penalty as well, Tim.
So that's a shame for Tadalian, as you see Russman, of course, as well. And also looks like Jack having a penalty. So those are the 3 penalties so far, and it's only the sprint race. There is the update, is we saw a car go very wide. Not sure who that was. And now we got a spinner. Is that Nitro Gas in the Ferrari? Yes, it is. So 2 spins already in the sprint race, only lap 6. Not really looking like a good Austrian Grand Prix for Nitro Dash. And is there another spin? Yes, there was. Trims J off of the first corner.
So Trims is having a bit of a spin. And Nitro Dash had a bit of a spin at the last corner. I think he got caught. I think he got caught by one of the drivers. But here we go. Kerr's getting a close eye on Michael for 7 and 8. And will Kerr make the move? He is. 2 in a bed moment now. Coming to turn 4. Michael holding on. Michael's trying to hold on. Dear life around the outside. He's going to have to keep it. He's going to keep it on the left-hand side. Kerr. Kerr's holding on around the outside now. But they're still going side by side now. Michael, come on. Oh, oof. That was unbelievable stuff from Kerr. He stuck it, but now look at MDJ. Oh my God, we could be on for the 3 in the bed moment. Come on. ARL's retired. ARL has retired in the pits. But this is it now. Oh,
on board with the Aston Martin. And yeah, I saw that too, Malka. Car going very much on the inside. Now we got 3 wide going into turn 1.
3 in the bed moment. And MDJ in the house. Oh my God, 3 in the bed. Oh my God, what is going on? What is going on? What a unbelievable battle.
Well, what's going on, Malk? Oh, I'm sorry, Malk, but I'll tell you exactly what's going on. They are fighting for that 8th position. Remember, this is the sprint race. The sprint race awards points. But how many positions how many positions are awarded points?
So first 8 is for the sprint results, but the feature, obviously, even though we're not in it at the minute, but when we do, everyone guarantees at least 1 point if they, as long as they do not DNF during that time. Russman's getting close to Spud. JPH is getting close to Ryan in 10th place. This is where the pressure is absolutely mounted. But what about... that was unbelievable. We had 2 3 beds in a matter of moments, Tim.
And, it is insane because this is the sprint race. Of course, that 8th position, that really is where these drivers want to be. If they cannot be up there in the top 3, the top 5, and they're fighting back around 10th, they want to try to get into the 8th position, at least pick up a point in this sprint race, because that's just going to be an extra point added to their total at the end of the Grand Prix, and that is so very crucial when it comes to the championship. In fact, just last season, we watched Ginger Tiger clinch the championship, but it was on a tiebreaker. They had to do a comeback of wins, so it just goes to show how valuable each single point is. And another way that you can look at that 8th position, if you've ever heard of heat races, they're very common in American dirt racing, but they have heat races and last chance qualifiers where there is a cutoff spot to make the feature race. Now, that's not happening here, but just imagine that as the same thought process.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so sorry to interrupt you there, Tim. But I do agree with the 8th place. The heat is on. Feels like the heat is on at this stage. But Russman was in a Red Bull sandwich for a brief moment. We've got a couple of barrels coming up to turn 2 now. Oh, Joe's holding on in second. Michael, no, drops himself down to 10. Oh my God! Oh, come on! We want some unbelievable moves. Oh, they can't do anything about it, Tim. They can't do anything about it at the minute.
And MDJ P8 in P7 now trying to get close to Russman. It's lap 9 of 12. Cameron Searle has the lead, 2.6 seconds over Joe Hamster. Bruce Lee Harding in third, right on the back of Joe Hamster as you see him there in the Alpine. Bruce Lee Harding in the Mercedes as they're about to go out of the final corner. This will be lap 10 of 12 that they're starting in the sprint race. Let's see what kind of a run Bruce Lee Harding can get on Joe Hamster. He's going to have the DRS down the straightaway, and he'll have the preferred line possibly into turn number 1, except he could not get alongside that Alpine. He had a look, couldn't do it, but he's going to have another opportunity going into turn 3. He's going to have a very long DRS run here, and Joe Hamster does not have any DRS, but look at the red light blinking on the back of that Alpine. He is using up every bit of that battery to stay ahead of that Mercedes.
Absolutely. I think there's been a few battles just come up to turn 2. Well, turn 3, sorry. And this has been absolutely mad. We've got the 2 red balls of Spud, and there's a train. There's an actual train of all these cars from 4th all the way down to 14th place. They're all with under 5/10 of each other. This is insane. Absolutely insane battling. And we've got about 3 laps remaining, Tim.
Russman P7 right on the back of Cuff. 2 Red Bulls fighting ahead of Russman and the AlphaTauri. So pretty much 3 Red Bulls on your screen right now, with Sir Spud in the 5th position, leading the charge, trying to get around Daryl Whiffen for that 4th position, though. And look at that, around Russman goes the Aston Martin of MDJ. Now they're side by side off of the first corner. What are they going to do? Who's going to have the advantage? Looks like MDJ into P7. Russman losing 2 positions now as Ryan in the Haas goes around him.
Absolutely, and Joe's got himself lost out to Bruce.
And Russman goes around the outside trying to get by the Haas. Can't do anything with it, but he's going to have DRS. Is he going to be able to get around him? However, the Haas has got DRS as well. We are in a DRS train, Malk, and that is not good for Russman.
Not good at all, but while you're watching that, Joe Hamster and Bruce having a great battle, which is helping Cameron to pull away. Jack has got another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Well, Jack's got 9 seconds. Tadeli and Russman are the only ones who've got 3 seconds. Russman's dropped himself down to 12. Oh, he's off track. He's off track, Tim.
And that's a shame for Russman. He's going to be starting very far back in the field, but look at that. Cameron actually went, or excuse me, not Cameron, Joe Hamster went very wide off the penultimate corner, so that allowed Bruce Lee Harding to get a little bit closer to him. However, I think he had to check up to avoid getting into the back of the Alpine, so out of turn 1, we'll see what kind of a run the Mercedes can get on him. Joe Hamster riding in the middle of the track, trying to defend his line. What does Bruce Lee Harding do? We ride on board with him, looking on the inside. Can't do anything with it. My goodness, though, that Alpine is quick.
Yeah, I don't know what it's got. I think Joe Hamster's just got some extra fuel, extra boost. And oh my days, the 2 drivers nearly collided. Bruce is trying everything he can to make the move. But he might have a chance. He might have a chance ahead. But, oh my days, I've got the 2 Red Bulls just behind, having a bit of scrappy challenge. Michael drops down. JBH moves up to 9th place. But look at Joe. Joe's holding on for dear life. He's holding on for dear life. But we have to go back to the leader, Tim.
And Cameron Searle, coming out of the final corner, will win the sprint race, starting on the pole for the feature. A nice celebratory lap for him. Who gets P2? It's going to be Joe Hamster. Bruce Lee Harding right on the back of that Alpine. Daryl Whiffen P4, Sir Spud P5, MDJ P6, P7 is Ryan, and JPH getting that coveted 8th position, the final position, to pay out a point in the sprint race. Now that's only the sprint race. The feature race, every position will pay out a point as long as you finish the race. A little bit different from the traditional points format of Formula One, but that's what the admins have decided to go with, and personally I think that it has helped make these championship fights even closer. Now the caveat to that is if you don't finish the race, then you don't score points, regardless of whether or not you're in the top 10. So it really does place value on staying out there, finishing the race, and trying to fight for every position. We saw in the sprint race just how fierce the competition is. Imagine, Malk, what we're about to see in the feature.
I hope we're going to see the exact same thing, but you never know what's going to happen. We might have different drivers at this point, so we have to wait and see how everything plans out. But I'll let you do the honours for the classification for the sprint.
And your sprint race results and starting lineup for the feature race: Cameron Searle in first, Joe Hamster in second, third is Bruce Lee Harding, Daryl Whiffen in fourth, Sir Spud in fifth, sixth is MDJ, Ryan in seventh, eighth is JPH, ninth is Michael Luke, then 10th is Ka, Speed Queen 80 in 11th, 12th is Ginger Tiger, Trims J in 13th, 14th is Nitro Gash, Mikey in 15th, 16th is Keza Russman in 17th, 18th is Tadeli, 19th is Jack and ARL in 20th, after an unfortunate DNF in the sprint race.
Yeah, absolutely unfortunate for him. Hopefully he'll get himself back on as quickly as possible. So we're just trying to see what's going to happen. But I'll just read some of the comments while we're waiting. Good evening to Reeds. Good to see you back in. Hello to Owen. How you doing, mate? Hope you can. Says big up, Cam. Reed says Joe Pad Hacker. That's suspicious. That is absolutely suspicious. Wink, wink. Reed says he had some great pace in Tier 2, just unlucky. Well, he had the same pace again, like in Hungary, and but again, I can't really say because it was. I may see that more often. Reens also says Bruce pressured Joe beautifully. Spud says not bad for no setup. Absolutely. Reens says kind of the same tactic I used in other sims. And yeah, so it's just mad. If you like what you see so far, guys, please make sure you like and subscribe to the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel for all the live race itself. We're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. We're aiming for at least 10 likes. Will be a massive help, and I say again, will be a massive help to myself, Malk, and Tim in the commentaries box, as well as to the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel. Hello to Gam. Hello, how you doing? Hope you came well this evening. Come on, Speed Queen. I don't know if you've watched the sprint. There was a bit of contact at turn 1, so might have to get that checked by stewards. I didn't catch what actually happened, but. Hopefully we'll get some more info. But remember, Rudder, the Drivers' Championship leader, is not in today. So this is a great chance for MDJ, Speed Queen, Bruce, Russ, Darryl, and Cameron as well. So they've all got a chance to get themselves into the, well, try and get themselves into the top 3 as best as they can. But do you want to do the standings for you, Tim, while we're waiting? Or are you okay to do the standings?
Yeah, we're just waiting on the drivers to ready up. Of course, as you said, Malk Rudo, he's not with us today, but he had a fantastic start to the season. 2 wins in a row, and then it looks like he picked up 16 points last week in Austria. His total, 77 points to MDJ 73 after the win in Austria last week. Speed Queen 80 in third with 62. Bruce Lee Harding fourth with 59, and then 48 points belonging to Russman in P5. That is your top 5 for the driver standings. In the constructors, however, quick finishers with Rudo and Bruce Lee Harding leads the standings, 136 points, 112 belonging to KDJ Racing of MDJ and Keza. Glass half empty, or glass half full, tank half empty, with Daryl Whiffen and Russman. You know what, Val? It's the same saying. Anyway, they are P3 with 93 points, 92 points belonging to Win or Be a Nuisance with Sir Spud, and Speed Queen 80. 5th place is Andrea Moda, with Cameron Searle and ARL. 85 points. And Malk, we are about to go into this race. We forgot to do our top 3 predictions, but I'm going to throw them out there right now. I'm going to go with Bruce Lee Harding, Cameron Searle, and Daryl Whiffen. Any particular order. I'll give you a moment to do it here in just a second, but first we got to do this start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in the air, and no red lights. We are green for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League, Austrian Grand Prix, and already jostling around for position. Joe Hamster takes the lead very nicely out of turn 1, and there was contact. Bruce Lee Harding into the side of Cameron Searle. Is there some wing damage? No, there's not. Daryl Whiffen P3 now, and who is that? MDJ in the Aston Martin trying to go around the Mercedes of Daryl. Does he get the move? Yes, he does. Into P3 goes the Aston Martin. Cameron Searle, meanwhile, trying to chase down Joe Hamster. And we got a side-by-side battle. Was that Michael and Ryan out of turn 3? Yes, it is the Haas and the Alpha Tauri. Now the Haas trying to catch Sir Spud. Does he go around the outside? Yes, he does. He tries anyway, but can't do it. And there's contact with Michael Luke and Sir Spud.
This is mad. This is absolutely mad start. Sir Spud holding on. Sir Spud is trying to hold on for dear life. Kerr drops down to 9. Mikey R, who's just joined in this evening, he's dropped himself all the way down to 20th. He has spun out. Keza drops down at 15. Nigel what's happened to him? He's also crashed. He's also spun, actually, sorry. That's madness, to be fair. So, I'm just speechless at the minute. Joe Hamster's got the fast off the race. 111.709. And we got Michael going on the inside line at turn 1. He has gone ahead of Ryan, so he moves up to 7th place, Tim.
So Michael had some issues in the sprint race. Looks like he's moving forward so far in the feature race, but looks like Joe Hamster and Cameron Searle now are having a battle. Cameron, he has steadily been chasing down that Alpine for this first lap and a half of this race. Now it's side by side into turn at number 4. Cameron Searle takes the lead from Joe Hamster, but Joe Hamster, he's not ready to give it up just yet. On the outside, trying to fight back, use that momentum. Does he get the job done? Yes, he does, but he does not clear the Williams of Cameron Searle. Still a side-by-side battle. Joe Hamster really feels like he's got something to prove today. Wants to walk away with the win here. Lost out on the sprint race and had to settle for P2. But as long as he takes the feature, he's probably going to be okay. But he's going to have to wait as Cameron Searle takes the lead on lap 2 from Joe Hamster. So
that's a good job from the top 2. While you're watching that, there was quite a few battles at the back of the grid. NDJ fastest lap 108.929. We've got a 3-car battle, right? I think Ryan's getting close to Michael and to Spud for 6, 7 and 8 respectively. But like I said, there was Russman, Kessler and Trevs had a bit of a good battle on the long straight after turn 3 into turn 4. I'll tell you what. Oh, Michael made the move, and also someone's made the move as well. I think it's Bruce getting ahead of Dower. Oh, so Spud's got a bit wide, and now, oh my God, Ryan, no! Oh, you beauty! What a move from Ryan! Oh, he went through the S's. Did you see that, Tim?
That was amazing. Ryan just really threading the needle there, getting into P6. Michael Luke giving chase now. It's lap 3. DRS is about to be enabled, or actually I think it should already be enabled now, and Ryan making good use of that. But one thing I want to point out is looks like we've got a yellow flag now as Jack has had an issue, has retired. And
safety car.
Is it a safety car or a virtual? It is a safety car.
Safety car. Sorry, Tim. I was trying to get you with the flow. We got a first safety car evening. I think Jack went off track at, I believe, turn 6, 7. So unfortunately for him, he will be out. Will be the first casualty of the Austrian Grand Prix for this feature race. But yeah, it's just been a mad start. But Keza has got himself into the pits after starting off in the softs. He did say, however, Keza says, lost my 1 lap old medium, so I have to go soft hard. So he didn't like that at all. Reen says, hey Mark and Tim, holidays around these parts. Great to hear the action being called from both of you. Absolutely, Reen. And O. Stevens says, love when Tim shouts contact. And then Reen says, shots fired. And then O. Stevens says, how many drivers has Joe took out? He has not took out anyone. Funny enough, he has not took out anyone. But he's doing really well at the minute. The last few races, he has stepped up a gear out of nowhere. And I'm quite impressed with him at the minute. But can he keep that consistency though? That's the big question. Safety car is still out at the minute. Jack has left Austria and booked his flight back to UK. Tim.
So, Mac, you were talking about tire strategies there just a minute ago, and I do want to actually point out as we see Bruce Lee Harding pitting now, so I'm wondering what's going on there. He did have some contact on the first lap, so if we can actually get to him on the leaderboard, I was going to see if he got a front wing change, but I don't believe so. Anyway, going back on the tire strategies, prior to Keza pulling into the pits and changing from the softs to the hards, we literally had every compound, every dry compound on the track. So we just had a plethora of tire strategies. Some drivers starting on mediums, some starting on the hards. It seems to be more or less a even balance between the two, save for Keza, who started on the soft tires. So it really, brings into question which of these strategies is going to pay off, and that's assuming that we don't have a lot of safety cars that's going to throw a monkey wrench into that, because having the safety car early on, you're not going to see drivers pit unless they have damage most of the time. So it's not an issue of really killing your strategy right now. It's simply just a break on your tires, considered a heat cycle. The safety car is pulling in now. We're about to find out, but these strategies are really making this interesting. And one thing I'm going to note, MDJ is looking very quick on those hard tires, and I just think in general the hard tires have got some speed around here.
because they've got more life than the mediums, and they have the opportunity to go, and they are going. They are off now. Cameron's not wasting any more time anymore. So trying to pull away from Joe Amster. 5 turns the gap. 5 turns is the gap for the Reed says can't count out Darrell. Yeah, Darrell's also in the 4th place, so he's licking his lips to try and get himself into the podium this evening. So wait and see how everything plans out. But another 30 laps to go. Another 30 laps to go. But remember, the hards can last over 30 laps. They can last over 30 laps. The softs can last probably about 6 to 10, depending on how you can manage it. And then, obviously, the medium should last at over halfway of the medium strategy. Tim?
So, you're thinking that some of these drivers starting on the hards are going to try to hold out and go to the softs later on in the race? Or do you think that the hard to mediums or vice versa is just going to be the safe bet here?
Majority of them will go for the hard mediums, but it just maybe depends on the way that the race is unfolding at the minute. So don't count your chickens just yet. Don't count your chickens just yet. I mean, majority would go for hard mediums is the safest bet, and I think the hards will probably go up to like lap 20, I think. So Reed says Joe reportedly had orange wing damage, Tim, apparently.
Joe had wing damage?
Yeah, Reed says Joe reportedly had orange wing damage in the sprint, apparently.
Oh, okay, that's understandable.
So that's what's happened at the minute.
And, you know, that's what I was wondering about Bruce Lee Harding because of that contact on lap 1. However, I don't think he got the front wing change when he pulled it into the pits during that safety car, so he should be okay. But he is running down in the 15th position as we'll go and visit him here in just a moment. There you see Bruce Lee Harding in the Mercedes, giving chase to the McLaren of Ginger Tiger, last season's Drivers' Champion. Now, you might be wondering why our Drivers' Champion is running in the 14th position. You would expect a lot more from him. Well, it's a little bit different this season. He has decided to go to no assists driving. So that is no assist. It's just him and his will and the physics of F1 2022.
Absolutely. DRS is enabled now. DRS is now enabled. Mikey is just had a bit of a mare at turn 6 to 7. And looks like Speed Queen, she's flying. She's flying now into 8th place. Kerr drops down at 9th. But the DRS is active now. Can Speed Queen now put the pressure on Spud, who are both teammates? Now, I bet you're wondering, the drivers are in different team cars. And we'll explain that in a minute if you're a newcomer in a minute. But at the moment we've got a bit of a battle between Speed Queen and Kerr down the straight. The DRS is going to be active and the Red Bull. Oh, the Red Bull. Kerr nearly went to the back of Speed Queen, but they're still going to have to turn 14.
Yeah, very good battle here between Speed Queen, Kerr, and of course, just ahead of Speed Queen, Sir Spud in the 7th position. Now, let's not forget about Trims J back there in P10 and Alfa Romeo. He seemed decently fast in the sprint at one time, held the fastest lap before a spin out of turn 1, dropped him far back. So he's been playing catch-up this entire race. Lap 8 now, about to be lap 9. He finds himself in the 10th position. Now, let's just take a look at how many positions he has gained since the start of this race. 3 so far. So not the biggest mover, but he has slowly but surely been working his way up through the field. Of course, the biggest mover going to a former champion of ARL back there in the 12th position.
Absolutely, and Ryan goes to 4th. We've got a bow for Kerr making the move on to Speed Queen. Oh, he's going to go on the inside, round the outside. The two teammates need to be careful, they don't want to collide. But, what's happened there? Speed Queen has dropped herself down on 9th. Kerr gets the Spud, bounce. Oh my God, contact. Not much, but contact. But Speed Queen, she's got a chance to make the move on the inside. And now she's going to go round the outside. Oh, tell you what, Trems, come on. Trems is going to go round the outside, and what a move. What a move round the outside to Spud, Tim.
Yeah, Trim's really a man on a mission here. Now trying to give chase to Speed Queen 80. He should have the DRS out of the final corner, but Speed Queen 80, it looks like she's going to get the DRS off of Cuss, so it's just going to be a DRS train. Trims is really going to have to work hard here to get by Speed Queen 80, and I don't think it's going to happen into turn 1. Maybe an opportunity will present itself into turn 3 as Trims, Jay, just drives that car as deep as it'll go into that corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Watching the battle between Bruce Lee and ARL. ARL's trying to hold on the around the outside. That could up to turn 3, but Bruce is just waiting for that moment down the straight. Here we go. Can Bruce now put the pressure on ARL? Well, ARL's got the DRS and he's flying. He's flying in trying to catch up to Russman in 11th place, Tim.
Still watching the battle with Speed Queen Trims, Jay. Of course, in the 7th position on those hard compound tires. Now, this battle is 3 seconds behind Michael Luke. Now, Michael Luke himself is at the tail end of a train that starts from Joe Hamster on back. So that's 2nd place all the way to 6th. There you see Joe Hamster and MDJ running 2nd and 3rd. This is allowing Cameron to build his lead, which is already up to 3.1 seconds. So Cameron Searle needs to just keep hitting his marks, stay consistent, and this could be a very good race for him. But we're not quite halfway in yet, Matt. There's still a lot of racing left to go.
Absolutely, and Bruce goes to the head of ARL. That's a good move. Darrell's dropped himself down to 6. Michael moves up to 5th place. But here we go. Still watching from ARL's point of view. But Darrell's making a move on Michael again. In back up to 5th place. So the Mercedes driver at the moment doing some bounce back ability moments, Tim.
Yeah, Darrell Wolfen having a nice strong run. The problem with him now, though, is he's 1.5 seconds behind Ryan, and he is really going to have to kick it into high gear if he is going to catch that Haas and get the DRS that he desperately needs to keep up with that train. You got Joe Hamster, MDJ, Ryan just hanging out this 3-car battle. Darrell Whiffen now 1.7 seconds back and just continues to drop. I'm really wondering what's going on. Could he have possibly just used up his tires a little bit more than the competition early on?
With the amount of pressure, Tim, with the amount of pressure of other drivers, you're bound to lose so much the tyre grip and try to save up as much as possible. But Nigel Gas goes up into 13th place. ARL drops down to 14th. And we go another battle ahead. Bruce might be ahead of Russman. Michael goes up back up to 5th, Tim.
Meanwhile, MDJ had a look on Joe Hamster, could not make the move out of turn 3. Going to have another opportunity into 4. DRS wide open, but MDJ cannot get alongside Joe Hamster.
He can't. Yeah, but Bruce is getting close to Russman in 11th and 12th respectively. And I tell you what, that was a close battle. That was a close battle in between those two. But Russman holding on. I'll tell you what, Russman's trying to save ERS. He's trying to save ERS. But the pressure's mounting for Russman, Tim.
Yeah, Bruce Lee Harding trying to recover after some issues earlier on, pitted during the safety car period, and Russman also looking like he's having a little bit of issues with his car there, as Bruce Lee Harding had to take evasive action and almost gets into the back of Russman. Maybe some minor contact there, but they keep it clean. We stay green. Out of the final corner, though, it's going to be Bruce Lee Harding with the DRS, but guess what? Russman has got it off of Sir Spud as well. So Bruce Lee Harding, he has a look, can't really do much with it, and into turn 3, I think it's going to be much of the same as MDJ finally gets by Joe Hamster, but will Joe Hamster be able to fight back? Yes, he does on the inside as MDJ gets very loose, has to dance with that car off of the corner. Now he's got Ryan coming up on his inside. Ryan in the Haas, he makes the move into P3. Does he hold on to it? It's side by side into turn number 4. The Aston Martin of MDJ on the inside. Ryan in the Haas on the outside. Now the corner does a switch. Ryan on the inside and MDJ on the outside, still side by side. Neither of these drivers will give up. They know what's at stake here. Meanwhile, Joe Hamster is just pulling away. Still a side-by-side battle behind him. Ryan just will not give up. Almost some contact with the Aston Martin. Might have only just been. Still side-by-side as now, finally, MDJ can breathe a small sigh of relief, knowing he's cleared the Haas.
Not yet, though. Not yet, though. Ryan is still within 3/10 here. He's still within 3/10. He could make a move. He could make a move on the DRS straight. MDJ needs to hold on. Here comes Ryan. Here comes Ryan. He's trying to close the gap with that Haas car. But this is going to be intense battling. Bruce, Nitro and Russman, there was some great battling just a few moments ago for 11, 12 and 13 respectively. And now, Ryan's still trying to put the pressure on MDJ. Was it a mistake? I didn't catch MDJ from that mistake. Was it a mistake from him, or was it a collision, or what, Tim?
It was a mistake from MDJ, I'm pretty sure. It was side by side coming out of turn 3. Whether or not there was contact between Joe Hamster and MDJ, I'm not sure, but it looked as though MDJ got on the curb out of turn 3, might have suffered a little bit of wheel spin, had to dance with that car to hang on to it. That allowed Joe Hamster to pull away and Ryan to close in, and that side-by-side battle, along with that mistake from MDJ, was the best thing that could have happened for Joe Hamster in this race right now. That has allowed him to get 2.2 seconds ahead of MDJ. Now, he's still 3.8 behind Cameron Searle, and I'm not convinced that Joe Hamster has got the pace to chase down Cameron just yet. However, I do think he could potentially have the pace to at least stay ahead of MDJ and Ryan if this stays green. But one thing I have noticed with the Alpine, it seems as though he's got a straight line speed set up in that car. He was able to defend quite nicely against MDJ in both the sprint and, as we've seen now, the feature. But it seems as though his lap times were a little bit lower than expected compared to Cameron's at the end of the sprint. So that tells me maybe, just maybe, he's got that car focused on straight line speed.
Absolutely, and he needs it on quite a few of those positions itself, so he's done really well at the minute. Big move for Kerr, goes up ahead of Michael for 6th place. Speed Queen, she's trying her best to close the gap onto Michael for 7th place, and she really is trying to fight her way. Oh, they're going to the pits. Same with Michael, they're both going into the pits, Tim.
And a bit of a lockup there from Michael, but he should be okay. No speeding penalty. And MDJ, we will continue to watch with Ryan now dropping back a little bit, but 0.8 of a second still within DRS range.
Kerr's making a move on the inside line. I'll tell you what, that's a good move. But can Darrell bounce back? Darrell will have that DRS. Oh, caught the back of Kerr, but they're still racing now. Down the straight of the second DRS, coming to turn 4. Nothing of it yet, Tim.
So Darrell Whiffen trying to get that position back from Cub, but I will tell you this, Mount, that was one of the cleanest passes that we have seen all day into turn 3, but I also have to say that it might be because of the tire wear. 15 laps on the hard tires, 15 laps on the mediums. Darrell Whiffen, I think he's starting to feel the pressure of those medium tires, and we've already seen a few of the drivers make pit stops. Could we be seeing him come in soon?
Sorry, Tim. Nigel Gas has spun after turn 6. That is quite interesting.
Yeah. As you're mentioning Nitro Gas, Darrell Whiffen goes wide, goes in the grass only slightly. Thought for a minute, though, we were going to have an issue with him.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if their back ends has just completely gone, but quite extraordinary moments now. Quite extraordinary. Cameron's got himself out now of the hards. We got a yellow flag. Is that Cameron? Yeah, Cameron. What's happened to him? Cameron was just coming out of the pits, and we had a yellow flag for a brief moment. So I don't know whether he's had any damage. I can't tell from the angle that I saw, but I don't think he's got any damage to him.
So we'll watch Cameron, see if he's able to take the lead back. Joe Hamster, of course, leading now. Now let's take a look, if we can, at the interval between him and the leader, Cameron Searle, 24 seconds behind Joe Hamster. So that should be a bit of a cause for concern. If I'm not mistaken, Mal, pit stop takes anywhere from 20 to 25 seconds when you calculate the time that it takes the driver to enter the pits, make the stop, and then leave the pits. So Joe Hamster, he has made his pit stop now. Let's see where Cameron Searle is able to be on racetrack versus Joe Hamster when the Alpine gets out of the pit lane. And I think that Joe Hamster will be ahead of the Williams.
Well, Joe's just coming out of the pits now, Tim. Joe is just coming out of the pits now.
So a very costly mistake from Cameron.
I think it was that mistake. I think, I don't know whether he got caught by one of the cars when, as soon as he come out. We got yellow flag sector 2. We've got yellow flag sector 2. Oh, that's Tadelli. Tadelli has either made a mistake or lost it at turn 3, Tim.
So Tadelli in the Ferrari. He's got the DRS open, though, off of the other Ferrari of Nitro Gas, so he can still fight and defend these drivers on the hard tires, so they don't have to pit just yet. Tadelli, of course, is the final driver who started on the hard tires, so the entire top 8 at the moment, well, actually, save for Joe Hamster, should be okay and not have to pit for a few more laps.
Should be okay, but they'll wait and see how everything plans out at the moment. But here we go. We're on lap 1936. If you are enjoying the stream, if you've just joined in, good evening to you all. Hope everyone's having a fantastic evening of pure good F1 action itself. We are at lap 19 now. But if you like what we see so far, hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. We're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. We're aiming for at least 10 likes. Will be a massive help to myself and Malk on the commentators box. But also Invictus Racing League. Sorry, Cameron is going to have ahead of Tadelli. He's going to have ahead of Tadelli. And that is a good move from Cameron.
And while you were watching that, Bruce Lee Harding was having a nice battle there with Sir Spud, and he was able to get himself into the second spot. Now we're watching Cameron. Remember, Cameron, he was our leader for most of this race until, of course, a mistake coming out of the pits cost him some time. That's why you see him in the 8th position now. So once the pit stop cycle through, it should be Joe Hamster and Cameron Searle, your top 2, if I'm not mistaken, where it was Cameron Searle in first and Joe Hamster about 3 or 4 seconds behind. So Cameron is going to have to play a little bit of catch-up here to catch that Alpine.
Yeah, he will. He have to be a lot of catch-up itself, but we'll have to wait and see how everything plans out. Ryan is getting close to Tadelli now for 9th place. He's still 2 tenths now. 2 tenths is the gap. He will have that DRS down up the hill section. Passing into turn 1, now doing that kicker turn. Oh! Ryan's going to go on the inside line. Tadelli is going to have to defend. Tadelli's going to have to do the old switcheroo if he does bounce back, but I don't think he will. I think Ryan is safely past Tadelli.
And that is great for Ryan. You saw just how quick he was, and the fact that Cameron made that mistake means that he is that much closer to that Williams. 1.7 seconds separating them two, and it looks like Ryan might be just a touch faster than Cameron. So this could be Ryan's opportunity to get on the podium here, as MDJ and Ka have made their pit stops now, so they'll be coming out sooner rather than later. Bruce Lee Harding should be inheriting the lead now, and he started around the 3rd position, I believe, and had some issues, pitted during our first safety car, so he is on the hard tires. He can stay out there for a couple of more laps, and honestly, if we have a late race safety car, Bruce Lee Harding right now in the perfect spot to capitalize on that, because he has slightly fresher hard tires, so he can stay out there a couple more laps, and he can pit for the mediums, have fresher mediums than everyone else.
Oh my God! Turn 3! Sorry, Kerr and Darryl, they're having a bit of a scrappy challenge. And who's that? That's Michael. Michael's going to keep on the inside line. 2 in the bed. We've got 2 in the bed moment, finally. 2 in the bed. And I'll tell you what, Kerr's trying to keep on the inside line. And I'll tell you what a move. What a move there from Kerr. But can Trems bounce back? Trems is... No. Are you actually going to do it around the outside? He is. Oh, brilliant! Absolutely fantastic racing there, Tim.
And Cameron Searle now getting around Nitro Gas, who goes into the pits. Cameron Searle now trying to get away from Ryan. Of course, let's not forget about MDJ here. He is not in the pits, excuse me. It was showing Nitro Gas for a minute, but MDJ running in the 5th position just behind Cameron Searle now, so he's putting a lot of pressure on that Williams. And one big difference is MDJ is on the medium tires, so MDJ going to be very, very quick here.
He will be very quick, but look at Kerr. And they're trying to go into turn 3. Got to be careful not to cause any havoc. Oh my God, Speed Queen all in on. 2 in the bed, Darryl and Kerr going sub side. Oh my God, don't you dare. Oh my god. Oof. Can Speed Queen hold on? She will lose out 2 positions if she doesn't watch out, but Kerr makes the move, and what a move actually. What a move, but Daryl's going to try and keep on. Daryl's trying to go past Speed Queen, but he cannot do it just yet, Tim.
Speed Queen 80 in the 8th position now. Daryl trying to find a way around. He's taking advantage of this, trying to pull away, but they are going to have DRS off of that final corner, and so he cannot breathe that sigh just yet. 0.8 of a second, 0.9 of a second, though. He is getting very, very close, though, to breaking that DRS. The fastest lap, 107.652.
Yeah, it's a good lap for Kerr, but can he keep that consistency going? That's the big question. Speed Queen's under a lot of pressure from Daryl from 8th and 9th. We've got another battle between MDJ and Cameron for 4th and 5th respectively. And Daryl's trying to do everything he can to make the move, but could not make the move just yet. MDJ moves up too.
MDJ P4, Cameron Searle in P5, Ryan 1.3 seconds behind in the 6th position, and Ka in 7th, 0.9 of a second behind Ryan. He is going to have the DRS out of the final quarter. Looks like Malk has had a little bit of an issue, and he has decided to pull a little sneaky on us and head out of the booth for a while. So we'll see if we can get him back in here. But in the meantime, we will continue to watch this race between Ka and Ryan. Ka on the medium tires, Ryan on the hard tires. So expect Ka to have a lot more pace than Ryan, at least in the early going. Maybe that will switch around later on to Ryan's favor, but for now, he has got a Red Bull charging, and he is going to be mirror driving pretty much the entire way down this straightaway, but very little that he's going to be able to do against a quick Red Bull and the DRS as Ka goes around the Haas side by side, but not for long as he clears Ryan, and now Ka can set his sights on Cameron Searle, 2.1 seconds ahead, who is in his own battle with MDJ as there was a bit of a wiggle off the corner for Cameron. MDJ, our winner from last week, holding on to P4, very strong and steady here. P3, Keza 1.5 seconds behind Joe Hamster, who should be our leader once Bruce Lee Harding and Keza are able to pit. Of course, right now, you'd think that they're holding out for a safety car, or just maybe trying to go and have a big gamble and go onto the soft tires. Malk was saying that the hard tires can last about 30 laps, and you're going to see the soft tires last around 6 to 10. Well, I'm not that great at math, but I know that 30 plus 6 is 36, and that's exactly how many laps we got. Could we be seeing some of these drivers just try to make that gamble? Well, I guess only time will tell as Joe Hamster goes around Bruce Lee Harding to take the lead. So Bruce Lee Harding, if he's trying the gamble, might not be paying off for him just now. He's going to need a safety car if he's really going to take advantage of it. All the same, he can get a little bit of DRS off of Joe Hamster here and at least try to keep pace with him.
Hopefully, Tim. Sorry about that. Some technical faults. Nitrogas is getting close to JPH, but could not make the move just yet from 14 and 15. Michael drops himself down to 18th with the pit stop. Nitro, and blitz past JPH, but JPH might lose out. He might lose out. Have you missed me, Tim? Have you missed me?
Yeah, I was wondering what happened.
I got the usual disconnection, unfortunately, from the lobby, so I don't know why I keep getting it. I do apologise for that, guys, but we're back live racing and 10 laps to go. Keza has pitted, Tim. Keza has pitted.
So what tires does Keza go on? Well, actually, it would have to be the mediums perhaps, right? But no, he does go on the soft. So Keza, he is taking that gamble. Feels like 10 laps is sufficient for those soft tires, so let's see what kind of a time he's able to make up. Meanwhile, it's Joe Hamster, Bruce Lee Harding, and MDJ,
Trems.
Your top three.
Oh, Trems has retired. Trems has retired in the pits, Tim.
So that is strange. Not sure why Trems has retired. Remember, you get points as long as you finish the race, and he was running about 12th, so that would have been a decent points day for him today, unless, of course, he's not concerned with the championship fight. That is very possible. I've known a lot of racers that don't really count points. They just want to go out there, fight for wins, and Trims J, he was quick today, but just could not find his way to the top three.
Absolutely, and the two Alfa Romeo drivers who are not teammates, by the way. They're just allocated teammates on today's performance. They are out of the Grand Prix. We've got an unbelievable situation. Remember, Keza did say that he had a bit of a one-lap disadvantage, shall we say. So might be an opportunity for Keza to last those tyres. Also, Spud trying to hold on. ARL's also trying to hold on. Try not to go too far wide. But a couple of battles. MDJ in 3rd and 4th. You got Speed Queen and Darrell for 7th and 8th, respectively. And I'm just watching ARL and Spud in 11th and 12th, Tim.
I'm watching MDJ and Cameron Searle fighting for that 3rd position. Cameron Searle trying to get back on the podium after a costly mistake. Cost him not just the lead, but the podium spot so far. Of course, we are expecting Bruce Lee Harding to pit very soon, so that will give Cameron Searle the 3rd spot, but it won't change the fact that he's still in a tight battle with MDJ, who has got the medium tires looking like he's a little bit faster than Joe Hamster, but with 3 seconds separating Joe Hamster and Bruce Lee Harding and an additional 2 separating Bruce Lee and MDJ, that really does not bode well for the Aston Martin's chances. I'm not convinced that he's going to have enough time to chase down Joe Hamster and get this win without a safety car. All the same, you know that you're going to see him just try his best and go out there and run every lap like it's a qualifying lap. We talked to him before the race, and you asked him straight up, how do you think you're going to do today? He said, well enough.
Yeah, that was just the straight-up answers, and he really is pushing on to try and do well in the race in itself. But while you're watching that, we've got a bit of a battle for Darrell and Speed Queen. 2 in the bed moment now. Down the straight, comes to turn 4. Speed Queen, can she hold on into turn 4? She can, but Darrell cannot make the move just yet. So both drivers, they're trying to save ERS as best as they can, but pressure is absolutely mounting when we come up to near the end of the race, Tim.
Yeah, lap 28 of 36 of the laps are winding down quickly. Remember, lap times here anywhere from 107 to 110, give or take, of course, depending on tire wear, tire compound, and all of that. So Speed Queen 80 trying to hold off Darrell Whiffen for these last few laps, and they are more or less on even tires. So this is going to be a battle that I'd say is going to last until the checkered flag, but we don't have any battles so far for the lead, who is very much in control with Joe Hamster in that Alpine. Bruce Lee Harding still holding on to those hard tires that actually, Malk, I just realized, though, he did not start on those hard tires.
No, he didn't.
He started on the mediums.
Didn't. Yeah, remember, the safety car come in, and he pitted for those hards. So he's gambling to go all the way to the end now with those hard tires. He's hoping for a safety car now. He's hoping to try and close the gap onto Joe, but I just can't see that happening at the minute, because I think MDJ and Cameron, they really are chasing him for 2nd and 3rd respectively.
Yeah, and MDJ is within DRS range now, and really Bruce Lee's only saving grace at the moment is the fact that Cameron Searle is putting so much pressure on MDJ, but the fact that they have such fresher tires than him, they could make quick work of him going into turn 3 here. So we're going to watch this lap 30 of 36. Now remember, this is the battle for the 2nd position between Bruce Lee Harding, MDJ, and Cameron Searle, as Joe Hamster is 3.1 seconds ahead of this battle, and no position change through turn 3. Turn 4 might be a different story, as Cameron Searle has a bit of a moment off the corner but stays within DRS range of MDJ. MDJ cannot catch Bruce Lee Harding, and wow, Malk, I am very surprised to see that, actually. MDJ, his tires are so much fresher. Now, granted, we saw the mediums lasting about 15 or 16 laps before a lot of drivers started to pit early. So, Cameron Searle, 13 laps on his hard tires, he's good. We know that. Bruce Lee Harding, he is struggling. MDJ, he's reaching that threshold. And at the end of the race, he's going to be about at the limit of those medium tires.
He will be at the limit of those medium tyres, but while he was watching that, Speed Queen and Darrell having a great battle for 7 and 8 respectively, and this is fantastic. So I'm going to go back to the top 5, shall we say, or 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Can MDJ, can he make the move to go around the outside? Two in the bed moment now, two in the bed. Bruce is holding on, Bruce is trying to hold on, but MDJ is saying, well, thank you very much, I'll take that move, and go around the outside. Up there, Tim.
And Bruce almost had an opportunity to turn the tables on MDJ, try to get underneath him into turn number 4, could not make that car stick. Of course, 26 laps on those hard tires. You've got to expect that. However, MDJ does have a nice little buffer between him and Cameron, and that is what he has been hoping for. Bruce Lee, you saw how much it took MDJ to get around him. I expect the same fight against Cameron from this Mercedes driver. Down the front straightaway, let's see what kind of a run Cameron can get. You see that red light blinking. That means that Bruce Lee Harding, he's using up all his battery trying to stay ahead of Cameron, but you got to think Cameron might be doing the same.
Yeah, Cameron might think he might do the same, but Kurt's just also under a lot of pressure to try and, well, put a lot of pressure onto Cameron itself, but this is a great battle for at least the 2 positions. Kerr's going to go on the inside. I'll tell you what, that's a good move. That's a good move from Kerr, Tim.
And finds his way into the 4th position, but now Cameron looking on the inside of the Red Bull, still side by side. Our 2 PC drivers, well, 2 of 3 anyway, Cameron Searle and Kuh running 4th and 5th. Now Cameron Searle, he gets the advantage over Kuh, and he is still within half a second of Bruce Lee Harding, so he has got that DRS advantage. However, let's take a look at those time penalties, because that is going to bite Cameron at the end of this race. 3 seconds to him.
Yeah, 3 seconds on Cameron, to be fair, but let's just see how everything plans out at the moment. So just waiting to see if there's going to be any explosive moments now, but they're going down the straight. Just trying to see what's going to happen now to him, and the Red Bull driver of Kurz just waiting for that moment, but cannot make that move just yet. But Cameron also, oh, he's going to make the move. Oh, I thought he was going to try and go for the inside of Bruce, but not yet, Tim.
And Cameron Searle, P4, cannot find his way around. Bruce Lee Harding drives it in deep into the corner. Still cannot make the move. Just really no way to get around that Mercedes at the moment. And, you know, Bruce Lee Harding, I noticed it earlier on today that he just seems to be a driver that can put that car anywhere on this racetrack and it can be fast. We saw him weaving and trying to, you know, to find a way around his competitors in the sprint race, and now we're seeing him defend massively in these final few laps against drivers with much fresher tires than him. And you know, you notice that he's not really weaving a lot, but sometimes he has to defend that inside line, and when he does, he somehow is still just so much faster, or just fast enough to defend.
Yeah, just enough to hold on, Tim. I completely 100% agree with you on that. Oh, Kurt just went to the back of Cameron, but nothing malicious or anything, just caught him in the nick of time. Look at that Red Bull. Red Bull has definitely got some wings. He's going to have to try on the inside. He was going to try and go through, but think nothing of it, Tim. Think nothing of it. And they're in the second sector and come up to turn 6 now. And come to the end of the second sector now. Cameron's just trying everything he can to hold on for 4th. But remember, he has got himself a penalty, so he'll only be dropping down 1 position. He'll only be dropping down 1 position. And yeah, this has been an absolute belter. And Cameron is doing everything he can to put the pressure on Bruce, and MDJ's trying to slowly pull away to hold on in second, Tim.
And, you know, I think that Cameron, he's really trying to drive a little conservatively here because of that time penalty. It seems as though Bruce Lee is able to get a lot better exits off of these corners most of the time than Cameron is able to. But just as I say that, Cameron is able to use the DRS to move into 3rd place around Bruce Lee Harding. Bruce tries to get back around him, but really can't do anything with it. And, you know, Malk, you were saying he doesn't have to, as long as he stays within 3 seconds of Cameron and keeps Kuh behind him. Bruce Lee has got this podium, but it's 2 laps to go, and it's going to be a fierce battle for 2 laps. And for Bruce's sake, the longest 2 laps of his life.
Yeah, he'll be pouring a lot of sweat, Tim. He'll be pouring a lot of sweat. And hopefully he can use that experience to hold on. But this is where Kerr could really spoil the party. He could go up to third today if Kerr makes the move. But yeah, last chance saloon for these drivers, Tim.
And you saw Joe Hamster on your screen out of the final corner. Final lap starts now. Joe Hamster 3.3 seconds ahead of MDJ. So if he keeps it mistake-free, he should win this race. MDJ just cannot find the speed. Of course, 3 seconds, that is a massive gap. And we were talking about that earlier, Matt, that despite the speed that we've seen from MDJ, we just weren't convinced that he was going to be able to chase down Joe Hamster, and sure enough, he's not been able to do that. But a big battle going into turn 4 with Bruce Lee and Kuh, as Bruce Lee drives it very deep, and now Kuh gets around the Mercedes, and this could be the battle for that final podium position. Cameron Searle, with that time penalty, likely will not be standing on the podium, but will it be Kuh? Will it be Bruce Lee Harding who takes that final spot? At the moment, it's looking like Kuh. Bruce Lee Harding, he wishes that this race was 35 laps instead of 36. He might have one more small opportunity, but the chances are dwindling for Bruce Lee Harding. Meanwhile, Joe Hamster in the Alpine, 2 more corners to go, and he's going to take his first win of the season in the Realistic Performance League. Congratulations to the Alpine of Joe Hamster. P2 going to MDJ, and then that third and final position going to Kuh in the Red Bull.
What a drive from Joe Hamster, who, after all the struggles he has had throughout the years at Invictus, he has got himself into a good and deserved win at the Austrian Grand Prix. Well done to him, fantastic. Well done to MDJ, and well done to Kerr for joining in the podium stuff. And yeah, unbelievable stuff, Tim.
And Mal, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that we're not going to be able to speak to Kuh because he's a PC player. But we will be able to speak to our winner, Joe Hamster, and MDJ.
Yeah, because Kerr's on the PC. MDJ and Joe will definitely get to hear them sooner rather than later. I'm just waiting for JPH to cross over the line, and which will be done just now.
Joe Hamster takes the win in the Austrian Grand Prix, second in the sprint race, first in the feature. Fantastic day for Joe Hamster as Keza gets driver of the day. And here is your officially unofficial results for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Austrian Grand Prix, pending any steward inquiries as soon as we're able to get our graphic up. Of course, there's going to be a lot of happy drivers and maybe a few drivers that aren't so happy. But the race results: Joe Hamster in first, second, MDJ Kuh in third, Bruce Lee Harding in fourth, fifth is Cameron Searle, Ryan in sixth, seventh is Speed Queen 80, Daryl Whiffen in eighth, ninth is Keza, Russman in 10th, 11th is Sir Spud, Nitro Gash in 12th, 13th Ginger Tiger, 14th is Tadeli, ARL in 15th. JP in 16th, Mikey in 17th, 18th is Michael Luke, Trims J in 19th, and then Jack in P20 after an unfortunate DNF. And Malk here in just a moment. I guess we'll talk to Joe and MDJ, hoping that we can get them in.
Yeah, hopefully we can get them in as soon as possible, but if not, we will probably stop the stream and just hope to see what's going to happen. But we're just waiting for them to join into the commentators box. But well done to the guys. They had some great battles along the way. But yeah, it's just been unbelievable stuff, and fair play to all the drivers who have just brought some excellent racing at the Austrian Grand Prix. We're just waiting for the top 3 drivers to join in, and if they can't make it, we'll probably be able to stop the stream. But yeah, so what's your thoughts while trying to get the drivers to join in? What's your thoughts of the race?
Well, fantastic race, Malk. Sprint race was great. The feature race was great. No shortage of action. Truthfully, I wish that we could have seen a little bit more of a battle for the lead, but, where we didn't get that, it certainly made up for it for a battle in the midfield, as well as a big surprise of Cameron Searle having a costly mistake out of the pits and ultimately costing him the win. But Malk, I'm thinking that perhaps our drivers cannot make it. So I suppose that is all the time that we have for today. But we thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to all the drivers that raced with us, and congratulations to our top three. This has been the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League.
Oh,
Oh, we got MDJ just in the nick of time.
Oh,
so
hello.
yeah, MDJ, you just beat the timer because we was about to stop the stream. But hopefully, you'll be able to talk to Tim about your thoughts of he did the interviews.
So,
Yeah.
MDJ, P2, we talked to you earlier, and Malk asked you, how do you feel about today? You said well enough. Well, I guess P2 is well enough for you, but how do you feel?
I mean, it was a very good race. Harder than I mean, it was harder, but also easier than I thought because I was worrying about top speed on this track, since you barely cannot overtake in the corners. But it still worked out with some of the incidents in turn one, lap one, and then after that, just cruising behind Joe Hamster. But of course, I made a mistake which made me lose the rest to him. So from there, I just tried to make it to the podiums, and it ended me up with P2.
So, looking back on it, do you think that maybe you should have went with a different strategy, or is there anything that you could have done differently?
If I probably didn't have that moment where I was off track and lost Joe Hamster, I think that all could have probably made me went closer to Joe Hamster, probably made me want to push harder to catch him, but uh, other than that, no, not really. The hard to medium strategy was actually the call to make.
Well, all the same, a good day for you in P2. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now we'll talk to Joe Hamster, our winner. So, congratulations, first of all, on your first win of the season here in Invictus. But, Joe, I've got to ask you, tell me about your setup tonight, because I was watching you during the sprint and the feature. It seemed as though you really focused on the straight line speed here.
Yeah, I think it's so hard to make an overtake around the corners, and you're starting near the front of the grid, that to just lose a bit of front wing and that straight line speed will just stop people overtaking me, and it seemed to work, to be honest.
It seemed like you were really struggling to keep up with Cameron, but you had the rest of the field more or less covered. And at one time, you were even the conductor, so to speak, of a nice little train of cars. But when did you realize that you were in contention for the win after Cameron's mistake?
I think as soon as I came out of the pits after my first pit stop, I thought Cameron was going to walk away with it, and I saw he was like 6 tenths behind me, and I knew the people in front were on worn hards. I knew if I just kept it in one piece and concentrated, then a race win could be on the cards for me.
Well, it certainly was, and it's your first win of the season. You did it in great fashion. Congratulations.
Cheers, thanks, mate.
And with that, that is all the time that we have. But thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you to all the drivers that raced with us. And congratulations to our top three finishers. This has been the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com. And until next time, have fun and goodbye.
See you later, guys. Take care of yourselves.